Hey y'all, and welcome back. So today I am very, very excited to have gotten a new figure in. This is Action Toys Machine Robo. Now, a lot of you may not be familiar with Machine Robo, and this may look like a familiar figure. This is also Screwhead from Gobots. Machine Robo was the original series that these toys had come from, and when they got brought over to the US, they became the Revenge of the Gobots. Anyhow, these have been in development quite a while, and I've been really, really excited waiting for them, wishing they get here. Look forward to these more than any figure coming out. And to get started, let's go ahead and just look at the box. This is a pretty simple design. Got the figure here, replication there, then the vehicle mode, all very simple stuff. Warning, choking hazard, 15 and up. So this is not kids' toy, definitely not the same thing that we grew up with. Now, if you're not familiar with the Machine Robo boxes, I have one here. This is for the ambulance, and you can sort of see a little bit of resemblance where the only thing they really mimicked, you've got the number here of the figure, then you've got the robot mode displayed, and then vehicle mode displayed. So they stayed true with the theme in that respect, but put their own take on it. Now let's get this guy open up and see what he's like. And here we have him with the package. So we've got the robot. He comes with these two accessories here, these weapons. He's got a long drill bit for when he's in vehicle mode. And then he comes with this elaborate stand. And some people would probably be happy if it didn't include this stand to keep costs down. However, it is a very cool feature. It comes with all these different parts that can be reconfigured in different ways. Some really strong ratcheting joints. And this accessory here that's designed for him to mount up. So we'll set that aside. And let's look at him next to the Gobot version. And even though these are different colors, you have to remember, these have to be true to the anime that these are based on. They're actually not licensed from Machine Robo toy line or Gobots. They're licensed strictly to the characters that were designed in the television show. So this is what they are coming off as. He's a fair bit taller than that. Similar placement of diecast. Off the top of my head, one thing that I think would have been cool is if it did come with an alternate head that had these more prominent screw bits, just because I think it looks cool, and it of course would have referenced the toy, but that's not what they're going for. So, if you remember the toy, very basic, arms folded forward, has wheels here, legs fold over, and feet fold down, and that's done. That is the transformation. And it's a very cool figure. Got a little window here. Sets of treads on top and bottom, which makes sense on a drill vehicle because it needs to be able to have traction on both sides. And just neat little figure. Unfortunately, I don't have all the Machine Robo figures that would complement the actual action toy versions I'd gotten, but all the same, there's that one for that. Now, first things first, let's go over articulation. So he's got a double hinged elbow. It's a ball joint here in the forearm and then a hinge on the actual shoulder. Rotation is from that ball joint on the shoulder itself. Head can turn left and right. It has a slight up and down movement. It's on a ball joint, but there's not enough clearance. Waist rotation, good amount of bend, forward and back, a little bit side to side. And then thigh, the hip, we can go forward, back, out. The plate up here blocks a little bit. Thigh rotation, double hinge knee. And back here you can see the lack of the skirt, and it doesn't mesh the aesthetic as well, but it's not that big of a deal. And that's one of the things that sort of causes me to classify this as a classics, more competitor rather than a masterpiece. We have a ball jointed toe, and then these heels are also ball jointed, and they're very, very stiff compared to the rest of the ball joints on the figure. I would maybe be concerned over time, these loosening up some. They're not incredibly tight at all positions, so you might need to use some floor polish or something along those lines to expand that and to make it a little stiffer. So now let's look at transformation. And if you remember the transformation we just went over with the original toy, you can tell that they sort of try to mimic that to a certain extent. So what we're going to do, we're going to push these legs together. And what's kind of cool, so we have this plastic tab that's built in here, and a peg, as well as a die-cast peg on this side that will go into this hole. So we'll snap the legs together, and then what we'll do, take the shoulders, put that rotation that goes forward, and there's actually a slot in the shoulder here, and there's this section here that sticks out from the chest. So this will go in there. Tolerances are pretty tight. Rotate the arm in. We'll be able to keep the weapons in during transformation. Okay, so next, what we'll do, these feet, so on the side of the die cast, these tab in, rotate these out, and what that allows is clearance for this section to fold like the original toy. And it's a little tight here. You'll have to kind of position these in a way where they don't interfere. So there, positions there. Place the arms back. And where the hands are, there's actually a peg inside the tracks. So this will lock the arms in position as well as the waist section. So we can put that there. And you can see the resemblance of the original transformation. However, it's got a few other tricks to sort of modernize it and hide some of the other things. Then this bit here will rotate back, spin the heel, and there's a slot on the heel and a peg on the die cast where it'll just snap into place. And these are, since these are so tight, it might take a little bit of back and forth till you get it right where you need it. Keep the same. So that locks that. Last bit, so we have the toes, and if you remember the toes just folded flat. Underneath, these actually have an additional panel. And we just pump out the panel. And then there's a section here, there's a groove on the waist where the feet will sort of snap into that. And that completes the drill mode. And if we get the original out, here's a good comparison between the two. They share a design, most definitely. So they really did do an excellent job of covering the transformation as well as the look. Now, one knock I think I'd put against this is where you have these exposed joints here. This whole area just does not integrate near as well as the rest of the figure. But it's forgivable and it won't stay in this mode that much. Put this off to the side. The other feature, so we just pop the head off, and we have this extra drill here, and it looks like it's designed for expansion, so it might not wear this peg as off as easily as if it was a solid piece. And there's with the longer drill bit. And of course, I would have liked to seen one that had the more drill look with the sharper spiral on it. However, it's not that big of a deal. But this, definitely a very cool figure. If you're a fan of the Gobots or Machine Robo, or just like third-party figures that fit in well with your Classics line, these are definitely something worth picking up. Now, I've got a couple more of these coming up with 2 more figures I've gotten, and I'm going to do a comparison video in addition to that. Make sure you guys check out the other videos. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.